Welcome everyone to part 3 of the series My Biggest Learning from CAT. My name is Savi Joseph and I'm from Chennai. We've got the same team here again. We've got Bhaskar, Muspara, Krish, Hiteshi and Yukta. So let's start the discussion. Like I mentioned in the previous video, we're going to talk about stress points, right? Before we get into stress points, the last 7 days of the exam, we are here now. It is close, CAT 2020, right? So if you have to tell about one memorable decision that you made in the last 7 days of CAT 2019, right? What would that be? Can you brief on a memorable decision that you guys made?
Okay, I'll take this one up. For the last 7 days before CAT, I decided to wrap up. I decided to take a look back at everything that I've been doing towards this exam. I kind of reviewed everything that I'm good at and decided to put them in a bag that I'm going to take them in my exam and leave behind some other things. For example, in my case, I was counting on verbal and logical reasoning sections to do to do the magic for me. Uh, for you, it can be something else entirely, but I found it helpful to just review your preparation.
What happens is that it's very easy to get stressed and tensed as you're moving towards the last 7 days to your exam, and it's like almost like the grand finale of everything you've been preparing for. And around this, it was very important for me to keep my motivation levels high, and I enjoyed some LRDI and some quant topics a lot. Like solving them was almost like solving like a puzzle. It was a fun activity for me, and I would ensure that every day in the last 7 days I incorporated some parts of this practice into my overall practice sessions. And this gave me this packet of confidence and sort of like a joy, which helped me keep moving through the week and not lose motivation, because I knew that my strengths are still my strengths and I can still do this. I still got this. It's still my game. So this is like really important to keep your confidence level high.
So, talking about building on your confidence levels, one thing that I don't regret doing at all, and I would do it again, is leave out the topic called probability. Attempting those questions right before the exam just stressed me out. And again, talking to those people who had this as their strong suit and who were banking on probability fetching them the marks, again, I would just panic thinking about that I would mess my entire quant section up. So it's very important for you to figure out your strategy, your strong suits, and just work towards it. Like Muspera mentioned, just attempt the questions where you're confident, because you need this confidence boost right before your exam. Again, a little stress never hurts anyone and it may help you perform better in the exam. So just chill out and be confident.
So I think Yukta has brought about this really important point that she did not discuss probability with anybody. And I would say that I went a step ahead. I did not discuss my strategy, my mindset with anybody who was giving CAT. I just stuck to probably discussing a bit of academics, and that was that. Because I'll tell you what happens. Many a times you have these people, they're brilliant at what they do, and you will talk to them, and they probably give you an opinion that they think it's done for them and probably they're looking at next year, and suddenly it starts giving you this feel that, oh, if this guy thinks it's not going to happen, then how is it going to work out for me? So do not get influenced by anything that people tell you. Just strictly try to stay away from negativity. Only focus on your own strengths. And another thing that I would really mention here is that uh, going by what everyone has said, there is nothing like a right strategy or a wrong strategy. It's what you feel most comfortable with is what you should adopt.
So I think I agree with Krish over here. The last 7 days strategy has to be really personalized as to what sort of a person you are. How do you function best? So while we were discussing here, there are diverse views. One where people would want to study every concept in the last 7 days, want to grasp everything. And then there are some who would probably not even want to open their books at all. Then again, there are people who want to talk their strategy out with their friends, maybe de stress, initiate a conversation. Again, on the other side, there are people who would just want to be reserved with themselves. They would not want to talk to anybody. And I think eventually we need to understand whatever strategy you're following, it has to be working on your strengths. Eventually, the exam, the competition is just with yourself. So, from the very first day when you thought of appearing for an exam called CAT, whatever hard work you've put in from that day till the D day, it's all going to function just well for you. It's going to turn out the best for you. So remember, whatever you're doing, just do it as to how you do it best. Additionally, I think it's not just the 7 days, the last one day, that is 24 hours before your CAT exam, that matters a lot as well. So, your strategy on that day really can do wonders. So, for me, I had it straight point on that I'm not going to open my books at all. That was just a relaxing day for me. And there were my friends, though, while I was talking to them, they told me that they were studying everything they could. I am actually curious to know, what did you guys do? Did you also just study the whole day?
So I think Hiteshi spoke of these friends of hers who really wanted to cover everything they could in the last 24 hours. I would definitely fall in those category of people. I thought, let me just do one concept and then one more and then one more. I started off at 10 a.m. and suddenly I'm looking at myself at 10 p.m. wondering that, oh, where'd the whole day go away? So I don't think that's a good strategy to follow. You need to understand that you cannot possibly cover everything in the last day. And on second thoughts, I would just say that it's best to just relax. If I were to change that, I would just sit back and call for some good food, and that would be a better way of dealing with the last day than to having panicked or just try to cover that one more thing, because you have to resist that temptation at the end of the day. You are preparing for the day that follows, not trying to achieve or accomplish something a day prior. So yeah, that's my advice.
So, Krish and everyone else, I am very sorry I made you guys relive those 7 days once again. But in hindsight, it all paid off, right? We are in a really good place now. And I mean, what is your takeaway from CAT? The process after that, how has it been?
If I imagine myself standing outside of exam hall after CAT, I would say my biggest takeaway will be adversity is going to teach you lessons that success never can. Also, I would say from that point on to where all of us are now, it has helped me re-establish my belief in myself.
Right. I think Bhaskar just took me back to this point, when I was done with CAT, standing out at the exam hall, all anticipated, and there was so much of uncertainty and so much of anguish in me that, am I going to match up to everybody else's? Did I do well enough? Am I going to make it? And what we don't realize is that, CAT is just part of an entire process. It's not the whole process on its own. And once you live through that process, day 9, just start again, working on your process. And once you live through that process, you have to understand that, you will make it. I know that, I made it. I am studying in a premier institute. I am studying what I wanted to study, working towards a goal I had envisioned the time when I actually decided to give CAT. And so I feel that, this it pans out well enough for all of us.
Perfect. As Mustara said, this whole thing is a process, right? And CAT is just the first step. And we, as a student community of IIM Nagpur, will stay with you throughout the process. We will be adding more videos to this particular series and giving you guidance throughout this process till you reach your dream B school, right? And until then, we all would like to wish you all the best, right? Hope you guys do your CAT 2020 in the best way possible, right? Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.